My nephew stared at me with big innocent eyes, then dumped an entire jug of orange juice onto my rug and said, "Look, a lake for the dinosaurs." Before I could even react, my sister swooped in like some kind of toddler therapist, shushed me, and whispered, "Please don't correct him. It disrupts his autonomy." That's the moment I realized if I didn't take control of my house, I was about to lose it completely. And trust me, what happened next? It shattered our family dynamic, but gave me the most glorious feeling of justice I've had in years before we dive in. If you've ever had someone take advantage of your kindness, or if you've ever had to reclaim your space, smash that subscribe button. Hit like, drop a comment, and join us as we walk through a story where boundaries are crossed and then rebuilt with absolute clarity. Now, let's dive in. My name is Lily. I'm 26, pretty introverted, and I take pride in one thing above all else: my apartment. Not fancy, not huge, but calm, clean, and absolutely mine. My older sister, Ava, she's 32, has never understood that. We grew up together, but she adopted an identity somewhere along the way, the high priestess of gentle parenting. Don't get me wrong, I love her kids. My nephew's I5 and my niece I3. They're adorable and sweet in one-on-one moments. But the second they're together, it's like unleashing two caffeinated raccoons into a library. When Ava's apartment tested positive for mold, she called me. "Just 2 weeks," she said. "We'll stay out of your way, I promise." I hesitated. I really did. But family is family, right? And she sounded overwhelmed. So I said yes. Part of me already knew I shouldn't have. They arrived with 7 suitcases, a stroller the size of a Jeep, and enough toys to stock a small press school. Within minutes, my living room looked like a toy grenade had detonated. But it was okay, I told myself. Kids make messes. It's temporary. Then the couch jumping started. Not playful bouncing, no. I mean Olympic-level springboard acrobatics. My nephew shrieked while my niece bounced beside him, and every jump felt like a heart attack slamming into my rib cage. I gently said, "Hey guys, no jumping on the couch, please." But Ava swept in like she'd been waiting for this cue. She knelt dramatically, level with them, voice soft and echoing with exaggerated serenity. "Sweethearts, what is your body trying to tell you right now?" My nephew shouted, "It wants to jam pee," and she beamed like he'd solved world hunger. Meanwhile, I stood there, watching my couch cushions bend in ways no furniture should. That was day 1. By the end of the first week, my apartment felt like it was holding its breath. Toys everywhere. Half-eaten snacks stuffed into corners. The faint smell of yogurt permanently embedded into my walls. Twice I stepped barefoot on a rogue toy car and saw God for a moment. Every time I tried to redirect the kids, Ava shut it down. "Lily, please don't raise your voice. Lily, we don't say no to them. It's disempowering. Lily, please be mindful of their emotional process." Their emotional process. Lady, my emotional process is punching a hole through the drywall. But I kept trying to be patient. It was only 2 weeks. I could handle 2 weeks. Or so I thought. It was a Saturday morning. Sunlight coming through the windows. A peaceful kind of quiet. I was making coffee, finally thinking, maybe today will be different. Then I heard it. A splash. Then another. Then a delighted little giggle. I walked into the living room and froze. My nephew stood proudly in the middle of the rug, holding my family-sized jug of orange juice at a 45-degree angle, letting it pour out onto the fabric. A golden citrus tsunami, spreading wider and wider. "Look, Auntie, it's a lake. The dinos needed a lake." My brain blanked. That rug was expensive. Like the nicest thing I owned. I snapped out of the daze and said firmly, "No, we don't do that." And that's when Ava materialized behind me like a parenting ghost. She didn't help. She didn't apologize. She didn't move the kid. She put her finger to her lips, shushed me, and whispered, horrified, "Lily, don't correct him. It disrupts his autonomy." I swear I felt my soul leave my body for a second. I turned slowly toward her, my voice low, steady, eerily calmed. "If his autonomy means ruining my house, then gentle parenting is BS." She gasped so dramatically you'd think I slapped her with the 10 Commandments. "You're undermining my values," she said. "No," I replied. "I'm protecting my home." We argued, loudly. Her kids watched from the orange juice, like baby gods overseeing mortal conflict. Her husband stood in the doorway, silently sipping coffee, eyes screaming, please, please end this nightmare. And that's when it happened. The moment I reached my breaking point, I said, you guys have to leave. By the weekend, silence, pure silence. Then Ava burst into tears. Her husband didn't even pretend to argue. If anything, he looked relieved. They packed up and left early the next morning. Later that afternoon, my mom called. And oh, she was on a mission. Lily, how could you? You embarrassed your sister. You insulted her parenting style. She was relying on you? Mom, I said, her kids destroyed my house. Kids make messes? She snapped back. You should have been more sensitive. And that's when I realized my mom didn't care about the mess. She cared about family image, appearances, keeping the peace at any cost. But what about my peace? What about my sanity? What about my right to live in my own home without needing a hazmat suit? As for Ava, she blocked me everywhere. No texts, no calls, radio silence. And you know what? For the first time in days, my apartment was quiet. Still, mine again. Some people think revenge has to be loud, explosive, dramatic. But sometimes the most powerful revenge is reclaiming your boundaries. Ava expected me to bend, to accommodate, to silently accept the chaos because that's what family does. But I didn't. I told her no. And that no echoed louder than any screaming match could. My revenge was simple. I took back my home. I took back my peace. I refused to be the doormat she assumed I'd always be. Her husband, quiet, exhausted, texted me from a new number a few days later. Thank you. I don't know how you lasted even a week. Even he saw it. Even he understood. And when my mom tried to guilt-trip me again, I calmly said, if respecting her parenting means sacrificing my well-being, I'm not interested. My boundary stands. She didn't have a response. That was the moment I felt it. That warm, quiet satisfaction. Not spite, not pettiness, just clarity. I wasn't the villain. I was the only adult in the situation who remembered that boundaries exist, and I enforced them. That was my revenge. At the end of the day, you can love people deeply and still refuse to let them invade your peace. Sometimes revenge isn't destroying someone's life. It's simply refusing to let them destroy yours. And in this case, that was more than enough. If you've ever had to stand up for your space, your sanity, or your boundaries, drop a comment below. Tell me the most satisfying moment when you reclaimed your power. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the story with someone who needs that reminder your peace matters, your boundaries matter. And sometimes saying no is the sweetest revenge of all.